Hey, what's up? It's Nana, and this time I'm coming at you guys with a video of the Cleric's AoE heal spec Warden. The spec that I'm using, as you saw there, was 61 Warden, 4 Sentinel, and 11 Purifier. Now this is the same spec that I use for both PvE and PvP. Really, I don't see a difference for making a separate one. One argument that people make is that they suggest that you should put 2 of your points in Sentinel into Benevolence, and this will reduce your pushback when you're casting your heals. But in my opinion, most of your Warden heals are instant cast, so and definitely the more powerful heals are instant cast. Of course, they do come with the drawback of severely draining your mana, but at the same time, I mean, you do have a couple of components that enable you to regen your mana quite easily, so I really don't see a need to make a different spec that would make use of Benevolence. So anyhow, jumping right into it, this isn't quite like a guide or an instruction video like I did for the Warlock, or it's not a guide like the Chloromancer. This is really just a thing that I have to point it out, and I've seen it too many times by both some very experienced players, people who have been playing the game for quite a long time, and specifically have been playing Warden for quite a long time, and it kind of confuses me why I've seen this on a number of occasions, where people will completely discount, or maybe they're not aware of the benefits of Dangers of the Deep. Dangers of the Deep is a very high tier Warden buff that you get whenever you do damage to someone. Basically, I'll go ahead and read off the ability description to you. Dangers of the Deep, rank 3 of 3. Your damaging abilities increase your healing done by 3% and increases the duration of your non-channeled heal over time spells by 1 second. Lasts 15 seconds, max 5 stacks. So it's a stackable buff. You have to do damage in order for it to build onto you, and it lasts for 15 seconds. 15 seconds is long enough to where, I mean, it's a heal spec, and it's definitely not Chloromancer, but still, it is not difficult to, once every few seconds, or 15 seconds at the very least, pop off a damaging ability. Now, Warden itself comes well equipped with 4 damaging abilities to speak of. Number 1, which is the one that you'll see me using throughout the entire video in the background, is Geyser. Now, Geyser is a single target damaging ability. It does water damage, and then it also provides a small AoE heal to up to 10 people in your party or raid. Now, you have this coupled with the fact that you also have, as a buff, a Warden buff, you have Bosun's Blessing, which anytime you do an AoE heal, Bosun's Blessing restores an additional amount of heals on top of that. So, that combined with your shared access does some pretty decent healing. So again, that right there, just Geyser by itself, is enough to do damage, and it provides that little bit of extra oomph with the AoE heals and working with Bosun's Blessing as well. Now, as you see through this video, I'm not the only healer here. Get that straight, right out of the way. Warden itself is not capable of doing very strong single target heals, nor is it capable of defending itself from people attacking. In this video right here, I believe there is 1 Sentinel, a Chloromancer, and a Defiler. And so, all of us working together, myself and the Chloromancer are doing AoE heals, and then the Sentinel and the Defiler are obviously doing single target heals, and together we were able to do quite well. There is a Bard there too. I'm not entirely sure how much his heals are doing, but either hell, I mean, my heals aren't the only heals there, and so you see a lot of heals on the screen, and most of them are on other players. I'm not really healing myself all that often. However, the point of Warden is to maintain the HOTS on yourself so that you have the shared access, providing that overhealing to 10 other people around you. But you know, if you do come under fire, you really don't have the tools to bring yourself up, keep yourself up. So you definitely have to rely on other players. So this is not a spec that I would say is your go-to Warfront heal spec. Really, I would say that Sentinel should be your go-to heal spec. But if you see there's already a couple of other players, 2 or 3 other players in Sentinel, then I would say it's, you know, it's a good chance or a good suggestion that you should instead opt for Warden. Back to Dangers of the Deep. Again, with the geyser, it kind of escapes me why people overlook this. Really, it's an increase, and it's there. There's no reason why you shouldn't use it. And it does increase the duration of your HOTS, but the most important thing, like I said, is the increase in your heals. Again, because Warden has 2 components, basically. It has the preemptive HOTS and Orbs. Orbs that you can place on yourself or you can place on other members of the raid. And then the HOTS that you place on yourself, and you also have Monsoon and Ripple that can also spread those HOTS to other people. But then you also have your reactive heals, such as what is it called again? Pool of Restoration, and then also your Healing Effusion. Now, Healing Effusion is an instant cast AoE heal, and it really drains a lot of your mana. I think it's 10% of your mana each time you use it, but it's a very powerful AoE heal. If you need it, use it. You do have your mana regen Cascade, as well as the other channeled ability. I forget what it's called, but basically you have 2 abilities in Warden that do help you compensate for those very mana intensive spells. So again, those 2 components, you have your HOTS, and then which are your your preemptive, and then you have your reactive. So preemptive, you're expecting the raid to take damage, so you put those on them first, and then your reactive, you see that the raid has taken damage, and you quickly use those instant cast abilities to bring it back up. On the note of raid healing, one thing that I want to go over and point out, as you probably have seen throughout the video, is what I like to do is build up my stacks of Dangers of the Deep and then pop my Tidal Surge and Monsoon. I do have a macro for that, and again, it's in the description below. But anyhow, I'll pop my Monsoon, and then what I'll do is I'll just go in to spamming my other AoE heals, not applying any of my my HOTS, because again, the Tidal Surge does give a bonus to my Monsoon, so I don't want to overwrite those with an inferior HOT. But once I see my HOTS on myself are starting to come down to the end, once I see those all start coming down to about 5 seconds or less, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and reapply my Healing Flood. Now the reason I do that is to, again, reapply it to all the people, but also to make sure that I get the reapplication of my Synergy Crystal spell power bonus. And then I'll go ahead and then pop my Ripple, which will then spread, basically reapply those HOTS to all the people around me, kind of extending the duration of that Tidal Surge and Monsoon combo. So, those are the things that I wanted to get across, and primarily about the Dangers of the Deep. As you can see here, I did some really good healing here. Of course, it's AoE, so of course it's going to do a lot more heals than single target heals. So anyhow, that's it. I'm going to put down the macros in the description. I'm going to put the link and everything there. And if you found this video to be informative and helpful, then go ahead and give it a like so that other people can find it. Peace.